Hello and welcome to ZAG SZN, a Gotham Production Studios original podcast. I'm Autumn.
I'm Brianna.
I'm Raul.
I'm Danielle.
We're here to debate our office's most unpopular and completely meaningless opinions. And I'm going to start with the ZIG, which is that the customer is always right. However, I think that service and hospitality workers should be allowed to hurt one person a day.
A day.
I'm willing to dial it back. I know that you guys don't like the day thing. But
Yeah,
You know that thing that was just introduced? I know, I can tell you're not into it.
Yeah.
by the scoffing and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I know you guys aren't fans.
Yep.
However, when
I'm
I
open to
worked as a waitress and then also as a barista at Starbucks, I would have loved to just smack a few people every now and then.
Yep.
Not without reason, you know.
Oh,
Thoughts?
Autumn, I'm in full support.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can we get like a show of hands as to who has worked in hospitality? Has anybody ever been like a? So
I have.
have you ever been
Not a waitress.
Did you
never
work at a
waitress,
hospital?
Never a,
Okay, so I've had interesting customer service jobs. I haven't worked
Okay.
as like a barista
Okay.
or like a waitress, but I've worked in valet. I have worked for the worst type of customer, parents, at a daycare.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I did work at a hospital.
Okay, so we all have experience in like the service industry.
Yes.
Okay, just want to get that on there.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't
Yeah.
mean to interrupt.
Totally
Can
in
we get a
support.
show of hands on this podcast? There are 4 people in this room and all of them have worked in
have,
this
yeah,
field.
have the yeah, I think I'm down, and let's say what it is. We're still frustrated inside of Gotham, and I am okay to implement a once a week rule here. Yeah,
It's already
no.
been pushed to once a week.
Well, yeah, well, it's open for debate, you guys. Like, obviously, we went from once a week to once a day. You guys figure out what works for you.
We're gonna end up at once a year, and it's just gonna be a purge. That's where this is headed. Let's just be real.
No. I think you're 100% right in that the discussion is always like the customer is right. I have never, from the start of Gotham, have been like, oh, they're always right. I support the staff first because I know that everybody that comes in here is level-headed and smart and kind. And so if somebody is having an issue client-wise, that's on them. I know my people and my people are good. So I've always been like that.
I will say I've been here for like a year and I've never felt not supported in that kind of situation.
Oh, that's very nice.
Like I haven't really wanted to smack a client.
Oh, that's good. That clients here are a little low key.
If
Yeah.
you guys could save some Kool-Aid for the rest of us, that'd be great. Yeah, no, Gotham's great. However, to the original ZAG here, yeah, service industry can definitely be rough. You're often dealing with people who are very impatient. See people have very, very like quick interactions that often are not the most pleasant. I feel like what does hurt mean? I guess that's a question.
Oh,
She
What
means
if it's
physical.
just like throw something at someone? What if it's like
but they dodge it.
A
Does
cup
it
of
have that
ice.
same effect that you hurt them?
I think so. I think it depends on the situation, what exactly you're going to physically do to them.
right?
I think throwing something at them counts.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I think that maybe it's not like a physical hurting someone, but I also feel like people in the service industry, like for instance, for me, I was a hostess, right? And people who like you give you 50s, like they give you cash, right? You want a good tip, whether you're a server or whatever. And it's this weird line where you have to kind of go along with it. So I feel like there just needs to be like an amendment to how service industry people are able to do their job without feeling like I used to feel guilty if I would wear, they give you like little dress and heels. And if someone made a comment about my appearance, I would have to be like, oh, thank you. Half the time I was like, stop looking at me. But I know it's part of the job and it sucks. But I just feel like maybe the service industry has to change for like collectively. And that's like really hard.
Right.
As someone who enjoys physical violence, because I do like always want to fight someone.
Yes.
I don't actually do it, only once. But I don't know if that's the best way, especially like we were talking about if this is like a parent with a kid sitting right next to you, it's like showing physical violence is the way to stop a situation only encourages the child to be like, oh, well, this is how this stopped. Now when I get into a fight, I just got to smack him and punch him in the face and then I'll be right and I'll be good.
To that, wouldn't do it without reason.
Yes, of course.
I would like for this child to know that the way their father is behaving in public is not acceptable.
So do you think that maybe you pour a cup of ice over the father's head? Be
Yeah,
like,
that
cool
counts.
off. I think maybe
That
that
counts.
it needs to not be like a physical thing, but like,
Do you think pouring ice water on someone isn't physical?
no.
Oh.
Well, to them, but it's not you.
Physical to them.
My thing is like, I would be okay if I would be more not traumatized if, let's say, this child was to get angry with me or whatever, and then instead of hitting me, pour something on me, I would feel better about that.
Okay.
That's
I feel like
bizarre.
we're headed somewhere here.
Yeah.
I think because there's no universal standard for
Yes.
violence.
That's
Nor should there be. I don't know. This has never come out of my mouth before. But I think there's like two options here. That's not true. There's a billion options. But the two that I'm gravitating towards are this. One, you basically just get to like throw a cup of water in someone's face.
Ugh,
Like,
the dream.
I don't think that you can throw things at people because, like, what if it's like an old person who's being like an a-hole and like I can't throw something at them? Like, they might actually get hurt, right? But I could throw a cup of water in anyone's face and that person is going to be embarrassed. They're going to be wet, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
Um,
the main thing. I don't really want to hurt people. I just want to
Right.
embarrass them.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like just a universal understanding across the service industry that like, be nice. Otherwise, you might catch a cup of water right to the face. I feel like that's kind of a good, like, nobody out there is like allergic to water where they're gonna like break out in hives or like,
Sign
you know
me
what I
up
mean?
for this.
I
I'm down.
agree.
I'm kind of into that. The other thing would just be like, you just as like a waiter or as a person who works in retail or whatever, you basically just get to like verbally like tell someone off like once a week.
Hmm.
Like, and your boss just has to be like, that was it. That was your weekly send off.
Yeah, because
Go put the
words,
check mark on
honestly,
the whiteboard.
words
Yes,
are
exactly.
words to me are more vicious. Like there's like, if someone gets at me and gets under my skin, I will be obsessing about
Yeah.
it for days and days. So I think maybe there's a way that we can do what you're saying, because I do agree that people in hospitality should be treated better, but just the physical violence in where we live right now and like what we're, with guns and all that, we don't know where that's going to go. So I feel like there should be
Right.
like a borderline. I agree with you, Raul. Tell off, cup of water to the face once a week for everyone.
The other thing I would say is
Sign, seal, delivered. Let's go.
realistically, because obviously we're taking this very seriously, I would say once a month. I kind of like once a month better. I think it makes it so that when it actually happens, when you actually do it, it's really like, man, I've been saving this one up. Also, just from a realistic standpoint, if you're in some place and there's like 3 people that work there and each one of them gets a cup of water a week, like chances are I'm catching a cup of water because I don't know, because I didn't tip it quite enough or something, So I think once a month is probably best.
I think that's good. And it should be like calendar month, not every 30 days, so that like someone tries you on like the 3rd and you're like, no, I have to save it.
Right.
Or if you haven't used it on the 29th,
So you roll
It's a
over.
free-
Then
it
it's like,
rolls over.
try me. Try
So you
me,
get 12 a year.
please.
no, I don't think it should roll over. I think you have to do it
No,
on the
no
29th.
rollovers. No rollovers.
So if someone's like
December would
mediocrely
be
an asshole,
insane. December with
There
the
would be
holiday
some-
shopping.
Some nutty person would save it all up for Black
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah, exactly. All the
I
the
would
Best
roll
Buy
wonders.
employees. Nobody would go into a Best
like it's
Buy.
my month.
Yeah, it would just be mayhem. Yeah, I like this though. I think we've settled in like a pretty good place here. Like cup of water a month, no rollovers,
And a verbal tell off.
And, you want to do a verbal?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That could be the more weekly thing, and then once a month you get to really
Yeah.
take your anger and put it into throwing it into someone's face.
What would society be like if this was real? If it would
Where
we just be like
consequences
way
actually
more?
exist?
A real purge would happen.
I think
Oh,
people would
really?
behave better at
Mhm.
Starbucks.
I feel
and
like
that's all
after
I want.
a while people would settle in,
I-
and then people would behave better. Yeah.
100%. I believe that. Because there's just not enough consequences for people's actions right now.
That's true.
If you think about like the quote unquote Karens, it's interesting with the recordings now that some people, because we are using our cell phones to record them, they're actually like getting turned into their like jobs and stuff and like suffering actual consequences for being a horrible person. Which I'm down for, you guys. We need more of this.
So just be like you'd walk into work with like a wet face and it'd be like, yo, what did you do? Like, what? You go to see your friends and you're like just covered in what, you know, and they kind of look at you sideways like, bro, we told you needed to stop.
Physical reminder that you need to be better.
Yeah.
That's good. I did come in here with 30 slaps a month and you guys brought me down, but that's I think we're at a better place now. So thank you for this. This has been ZAG Season. I'm Autumn.
I'm Brianna.
I'm Raul.
I'm Danielle.
Thank you so much for listening.